This was the most interestingly played game I've seen all season in terms of these are two of the best teams in the nation. This was a heavyweight clash. We all discussed it going into it. And to start the game, Yaxel Lundeberg, a minute and 10 seconds in, has 2 fouls and is pulled from the lineup because he's got 2 fouls.
Right.
And then a few minutes later, Merez Johnson and Aday Mara also get 2 fouls. But then on the Arizona side, Jaden Bradley gets 2 fouls. It was just like immediately.
And you know, to start the game, who did Lundeberg have?
Lundeberg had Jaden Bradley.
Yes, he did.
And he got 2 fouls. Bradley had none at that point. He gets pulled. And then Bradley, by the 9-minute mark, had 3 fouls.
That's because he made a dumb foul from behind.
He did. And it built from there to where both sides were in this weird position. The only difference on the floor was Elliot Cadeau played incredibly well passing the ball. Like, there's a reason they brought him in as their point guard. Is because he had 10 assists.
Remember in the offseason.
You said it. He's a great point guard.
What was in the offseason when they got him to commit?
Yeah.
I didn't talk about Lindenborg, and I didn't talk about Mara, and I didn't talk about Johnson. I said the single most important guy they brought in was
Cadeau. You said it.
Because of the fact that he is a distributor.
And he set the table for Mara, for Johnson. He made some great passes for Burnett and Gale and McKinney. Whew.
But where has he really improved as a player? He's improved as a player because he's now a better shooter.
Yeah.
When he was at North Carolina, he made players around him better, but on the scouting report, he was the guy that would be open for a reason. In other words, and Cadeau got to the point where he was hesitant to take that shot when he was at North Carolina. Because again, on the scouting report, hey, give him space. In other words, don't let him drive and distribute. Give him a little bit of space because, hey, look, we don't mind if he takes that shot. Now you do mind he takes that shot because he's become an exponentially better three-point shooter. And it really began in late December because in November and December, he's just distributing it like an 8-9 assist clip and the whole deal. And his shooting's okay, right? Because as you know, I do on my chart, I do trends. I'll sit back and go, okay, this guy's 3 for his last 17 and threes or whatever like that. And I'm looking at him, and he'd gone through a stretch of, kind of the same as how he shot at North Carolina until he got let's say about 3 or 4 games before the Penn State game. I'm looking at him like, you know what? He's really. And I watched the video. I'm like, he's really starting to shoot it. People were giving him space. He's shooting it. Right now, he's shooting it with such confidence. He's shooting it without space. Yeah,
he went 3 for 7 from 3, 5 for 17 from the field, and he didn't shoot particularly well, but he put the shots up. And Arizona's a big defense. And as I said, he didn't have space. So when you're going up against the likes of a Jaden Bradley or a Braden Burries at guard, who are big physical guards, or you're driving in and Karchenkov and Pete and Krivas and Owaka are there, that's a huge team.
And remember, there's more on his plate now because L.J. Kaysen is not out there.
And then Yaxel Lindenberg also wasn't out, so he was setting the table for everybody. He was linking everything up across the board, and he passing the ball is the reason they won this game. It's because he was setting everyone up, and he was making it so Mara could easily put the ball in the basket, and Johnson could put it in. Then Burnett got open shots, and Lindenberg, when he came back, got open shots, and it was just...
To me, he would be, at this hour, we'll see how tonight plays out, he'd be the MOP of the tournament. Now, that's me.
Yeah.
Somebody will be the leading scorer tonight, and everybody will vote for that person, and they'll get the deal. Lindenberg, it sounds like will play tonight.
Lindenberg apparently has a small bone bruise and a light strain of his MCL, but he will play. So apparently will, as you mentioned, Solo Ball with a twisted ankle. So the two of them are both set to play in this game. But going out of that Michigan game, it felt like they did enough on the offensive side, and Arizona missed enough shots because they didn't have their point guard. Jaden Bradley's the one who sets the table for everybody, who plays with pace, plays with speed, and is able to just make it his game. but he only got 25 minutes because he was in foul trouble for most of the game, so he couldn't play. That Tommy Lloyd couldn't bring him in the rest of the first half because he's got 3 fouls after 9-10 minutes. Like, you can't bring him in.
And what's the problem when you are the running football team, which Arizona, style-wise, they score a lot of points. Okay,
but they score a lot because Bradley sets it up and he gets the basket, and then it goes from there.
But there's 365 teams. Who is 361 in percentage of points from 3?
It's Arizona. They don't shoot the 3.
Right. It's not like they're not capable. They are a 37.5 to 38% three-point shooting team. But they are not, based on offensive structure, not a volume three-point shooting team.
Like yesterday, Burry's.
So now you have the running football team because they want to score so often. That means when you're getting 20.7% of your points from 3, which is what they get. So that's why they're 361. I mean, they're winning all these games, so it works. But that means they are getting 79.3% of their points inside the arc. That's where they get their offense from. It's not as if they're not capable of, but the issue is they are not a volume shooting team. They only take 1 out of every 4 shots they take from the field is a 3. So now the running football team has to now pass the ball, which means in basketball, you have to take more shots outside the arc, and that's not their game. And it's just, they had no chance. Once Michigan built the lead, they had no chance.
And the 1-2 was Braden Burries, and he is a shot creator. He's not not an offense initiator. That he can make his own shot, he can't make others people's shots, which is the issue because Bradley can do that. And all of a sudden, Koa Pete can bring the ball up sometimes, but that's only like hey, bring it up here 10% of the time up the court, not bring it up 50% of the time, and the two of them just can't initiate the offense. They don't have a really good backup point guard behind Bradley, and so all of a sudden their offense was gone, and Michigan is able to do it because Trey McKinney is good enough on the point guard side of things, and they can all kind of drive and kick and move the ball around, and Arizona wasn't able to do it because they didn't have someone to drive to start the kick, and it just it fell the way it did. And so tonight, Michigan and UConn are playing each other. This game in Lucas Oil. Michigan is favored by 6.5 points. Not shocked they are the favorite in this game, and they come on in as the favorite against UConn.
Well, Michigan should be the favorite.
They should be. And again, they played that well without Lendeberg for most of the game. Because when he did come on, you could see he was slower on offense and defense. He was a little more stagnant, which is fair because he hurt his MCL in his knee. Like he's gonna be slowed, but they didn't rely on him. And Cadeau set the ball well. And if that is how this game is gonna go, if Cadeau is gonna set the table,
plus Morrow was really good,
and Morrow was really good. If Cadeau is gonna set the table and Morrow's gonna play well, for me, it's gonna come down to can Terrace Reed Jr. do enough against Johnson and Mara to knock one of them out early, foul trouble wise, and that's what it's going to come down to.
Here's the issue that they'll have with Mara that they did not have with Illinois. Mara, to his credit, is a superior passer out of the post.
Oh yeah,
okay. At 7'4", 7'3", 7'4", he can obviously see everybody, and UConn's not a big team. He can obviously see everybody, and not only that, you watch how he does. Boom, and like I'm talking with one flick of the wrist,
gets it out.
He gets the ball, and I don't mean like fast break stuff. I'm talking like half court post. He backs in, say Reed's there, right, and he can't make that turn to the left shoulder he wants to make. He has the ability to go, hey, you're open, go ahead, right, and. The other key player, I think, tonight in the game, I think for UConn, Demery has to be a key player for them tonight. And I think for Michigan, McKinney has to be a key player for them tonight.
McKinney played really well against Arizona. He went 6 for 9, 4 for 6 from 3. I think towards the end of the game, he got a little more, let me go make my own shot and make it. And he kind of got away from the rest of the offense in that regard. But in terms of when Cadeau had to come out, and Lendenberg was out. McKennie did really well. He shot the ball incredibly well, and he set the table.
Again, I go back to it's when you're researching teams all the time, you go through. They don't become names to you. Like I said, we have access to scout tapes and everything else. And like, oh, geez, this kid can play.
And also,
right? And Roddy Gale, to his credit,
he played well. He connected everything. Right? Him and Burnett both, I think, connected the pieces.
Roddy Gale spent most of this year, with all due respect to him, of being just another guy. I feel that beginning in the Big Ten tournament, you could see him, and they needed this to happen. They needed somebody else, because McKennie you expect. They needed somebody else, either Burnett or Gale, to pick up for the loss of L.J. Kaysen. And Gale's been the guy, not Burnett. Burnett. I know he had 31 against Penn State, the whole thing.
He's a connector.
He's just another guy. Okay, he's a journeyman. Alabama, Texas Tech. I know he's been the last couple of years. He's the old guy in the team and the whole deal. How many Burnett games have I broadcast in my career?
Quite a few.
Right? And he had one awesome game, and all the other games were like nondescript. So I don't expect him to be the guy that's going to do something. Gale, between Ohio State and Michigan, I've done a lot of his games. I know what he's capable of, but like he spent most of this year like this flat line. And then they got to the Big Ten tournament, and he may not be racking up 30 minutes a game, but they needed somebody to give them an L.J. Kaysen lift and to go with McKennie. McKennie always does this. Okay. And he's done that. But I'd say Demery and McKennie are the two key players tonight, where they're the swing players on the floor where they aren't the stars, but if one guy has a better game than the other, that'll be a big lift for the team that wins the game. And
I wanna ask you a question because I'm curious. So Michigan has come into this game tonight. They've won all 5 games in the tournament by scoring 90+ points. And yes, I know they won a lot of games double-digit wise this season. They put up a lot of points, but they also won a lot of games closer.
They blew out Gonzaga by 40 points. This is before they played Penn State here. They beat Gonzaga by 40. Gonzaga?
Yeah.
It's not that they beat Gonzaga.
Beat them by 40.
Okay, but that doesn't, okay, they beat Gonzaga.
They beat Auburn by 30.
That's a great win. All right? But to dust Auburn by 30, to dust Gonzaga by 40, like going,
well, by the way, the order of events there was they beat Middle Tennessee by 25, San Diego State by 40, Auburn by 30, Gonzaga by 40, Rutgers by 41, and then Villanova by 28. In that order. It was just like they're putting up monumental point totals.
Up video game numbers.
Yeah. And so they now come into this game. They beat Arizona by 18, Tennessee by 30+, Alabama by double digits, St. Louis by 20+, Howard by 20+. When you're putting up 90 points a game as a team, does it give you almost not an irrational confidence, but we're clicking on offense?
Thanks for listening to Sports Talk with Steve Jones. Catch the latest from me on the 7 Mountain Sports YouTube page. Find clips of the show on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook by searching up 7 Mountain Sports.